Hey everybody, let's check in and see how the garden's doing. Well, the first thing that's obvious to have to point out is this fence. The morning after we planted everything, we came out and the corn, which had already started to grow a foot tall inside the house, had been chewed down to about an inch of the top of the wood chips. So this was our stopgap measure, and it looks like it has stopped whatever was coming in here from eating. If you need to throw something up like this, I would recommend that you use this hardware cloth. We've had problems in the past where even our chickens would get through chicken wire. And I know that that's a lot easier to work with. It's also a lot less expensive. If you can, upgrade and use the hardware cloth. You're staring right down from left to right. You can see just a little bit of a leaf of a tomato plant there. And then you can see some cucumbers down in their holes, some peas, and then the corn on the back row on the right. As I bring you up a little bit, you'll see over on the right this poor one little dwindly plant right by the pink tag. It's going to be, poke a finger in here, right there. That's a sunflower. That was probably our worst loss by not having the fence up first. We had 4 sunflowers planted. Now it looks like we're down to 1, and I'm hoping it pulls through. Some of the other holes that you're not seeing anything in, you might not be able to make out some small broccoli that's starting to come up, and also potatoes along the front row there. Here is the traditional row side of our little experiment. I'll tell you what they are, and then I'll bring you in a little closer for some details. On the far left we have tomatoes, the one that you can see really well sprouted. Second in are a bush variety of peas, and then in the one just right of the pole that's in the middle are a bunch of artichoke, and then in the very far right we have onions closer to you, and then further away are some lettuce. Here are some of the seedlings that are coming up in the rows that we planted. I believe the variety of these are Big Beef. They're the organic tomatoes. MHP Gardener does them all the time. We wanted to try to do these straight out of the ground. So they weren't started inside the house or anything. And you can see right there next to that big wood chip a little clump of them coming up. And then we'll thin them out as we see which one's doing the best. Here's a little bit closer of a look at these bush peas. I'm guessing by next week I'm going to have to start thinning these guys out a little bit. If nothing else, I think we'll be eating peas this year. Here's a look at just one of the artichokes. It's kind of hard, you can't really see them more than one at a time in the camera. So these guys really did not like being transplanted out into the weather here. We probably could have done a better job of trying to harden them off first. Quite honestly, I didn't even know we could grow artichokes around here. My wife, who's kind enough to cook them when I am not home, loves these, and so we're giving it a try. So far, it does not look like any of it have died off, but it does kind of look like they just didn't take to it well. In what may or may not look to you like a desert, we do have a couple little, somewhere around in here, some onions trying to poke up. Probably be able to see those a whole lot better next week. And if you can't tell just how lazy I got when it came to laying down the seed for the lettuce, well, I was. Not entirely sure how easy it's going to be to thin those out. I guess I'll just have to wait for their true leaves to come out, and after a week or so pick some, because obviously that's a little crowded. And in these 2 little holes is what my son affectionately calls his plants. These are cayenne pepper. He just loves spicy things, and I don't know if he really understands cayenne pepper, but one way or another I hope that we'll get enough out of this to make some of our own chili powder. There's really not too much to show you here yet, but I did want to take you on a quick tour of what fruit trees we have in the yard so that you have an idea what to look forward to. We got these about 1.5 years ago as some bare roots. They've already been through 1 season of growing, and they've been pruned, and now they're starting to come up again. So this is actually a Stark Rimson, I believe is how it's pronounced, sweet cherry. I'll just show you out right here how it goes. This one here is probably the one I'm most excited about. This is our Granny Smith. And I'm excited about it because I know what my wife's apple cobbler tastes like when she uses these apples. So can't wait for another year or 2 when it actually bears fruit. Now this is our Starkspur Golden Delicious. You know, really we kind of were thinking about the delicious variety as being a good hey kids, you want an apple, go grab it kind of thing. A nice, just a snack apple tree. So this is our Golden Delicious. Okay, this here is the Stark Double Delicious, and I wasn't telling you a tale when I said that the Granny Smith is going to be my favorite, but this one's going to be a lot of fun because it's grafted twice. It's grafted to the rootstock to keep it to be a semi-dwarf, but it's also grafted right in the middle there between a Red Delicious and a Golden Delicious. So when it actually starts to bear fruit, we'll have both varieties growing off this one tree. So that'll be a neat thing to see. And we've actually got this one right at the entryway when you come up the driveway, purposefully to be that kind of focal point in the fall. Okay everybody, well that's all I've got for you for today. I think if you're going to take anything away, if you still haven't actually planted yet or you're just thinking about a garden, I would say make sure that you have a fence up or some way to protect your plants first. That was the biggest lesson that we learned. Being out in the woods with all the vegetation that's here naturally, we thought that we'd be okay. We've even got a dog in the yard, kids that are running around all the time. We really didn't expect wildlife to be an issue. So before you put something in the ground and waste all the time of the seedlings that you planted inside, or you think that nothing ever germinated, but it's actually because wildlife's eating it as soon as it's coming up, make sure you get some way to protect your plants first. Other than that, we haven't lost anything to cold or any other kind of inclement weather. Check back with us. We'll come back to you again in 1 week and let you see how everything's doing. Thank you all for watching. The target, this big black ball that swings like a pendulum underneath. And as the ball heats up throughout the day in the sun, the flies are attracted to it. And because it's on a pendulum,